Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about how can we retrieve a JSON array from the PHP file to Android. So we have this table which will be used in this video, and also we have used in the previous videos, which return ID, name, and salaries of 3 employees. So at first, let's go to NetBeans, right click on the source file, new PHP file. Let's call it all underscore emp employee. And we're going to use the same code we have used in the previous videos. So instead of rewriting the code again, we can make a copy of this code, copy, okay, then paste it here. But we need some changes. At first, we need all the EMP, so we should write something like select star from EMP. So in the SQL statement, we don't have any variable, we don't have any question mark. In this case, no need for the bind param which used to define the variables or the question mark inside the SQL statement. Now, this statement will return many rows, so at first we need an array. So define variables AR and assignment to the array function to create an array. Then for this line, we should add while, because you will get multiple rows, not just one row. And then use the function array push to put the row inside this array. The last thing will be echo JSON encode for the array. Okay, so let's try this one. Right click, run file. It gives me error. What's the error? Oh, okay, it is AR, not ARR. Again, save. Let's refresh this page. Yes, it returned all the employees inside this JSON array. Also, as usual, we will convert it to the IP address. Okay, then copy this line and go to the Android Studio. So in the previous videos, we have used this example to return only one employee. Okay, so let's go to the second ACT, second activity. Okay, or we can create new activity. Let's create new one, new activity, empty activity. Let's call it, for example, JSON ACT. Okay, so I have created a new activity. I'm going to add from the text just text view. I'm going to display all the data inside this text view, which is text view 2. I'm not going to change the ID of this text view. So text view. Okay, now let's go to the Kotlin file, var URL as string equal the URL, then var, let's call it list equal array list, because we need to store all the values inside this array, the values which return from the JSON array. Now again, let's define var rq equal of data type request queue, which is equal to volley dot new, yes, volley dot new request queue this. Now var jar, which is JSON array request, equal to JSON array request, and we should define the 5 parameter as the previous videos, which is request dot method dot get, then the URL, which is URL, okay, then the request itself, we don't have any JSON request, null. Now the response dot listener with parameter as response, and also the response dot error listener in case of error with parameter error. So let's make some spaces here and also here. Now the data type of the response is an array, so we need to write something like for x in 0 till response dot length minus 1. That's mean make loop from 0 to the length of this array, then list the array list we have defined here, dot add. Let's suppose we need add first the name of the employee, so we are going to write something like response dot get JSON object x dot get string, for example name. This will add all the employee name. Let's add another thing, plus something like dash, any symbol to separate between the name and the salary, and we are going to add the same thing, which is response dot get JSON object x dot get string salary, which means go to the object and return the name, and here go to the object and return the salary. After all this, text view2 dot text equal, okay, how can we add all this to the text view? The same thing will be here for, okay, y in 0 till list dot size minus 1. Okay, so text view 2 dot text plus equal list for the value x, not x, sorry, here y, and we should add some empty string, something like, okay, oh, okay. Then in the case of error, give it something like text view2 dot text equal error dot message, then connect between them by rq dot add with jar. Now in case if it is everything is okay, it will add the name and the salary to this list, okay, but we in this case we need to add another loop for text view. I think it's not okay to do it like this, but we can do something like, I think if we add some bracket for the loop here, for example, and also we should add it here, yes, something like this, okay, so all the values will be added to this list. But what about if we add something like var result as data type string equal empty string, and instead of list dot add we add something like result plus equal, then here text view2 dot text equal result. So instead of using the array, I have used one variable and concatenate all the name and salary inside these variables. But also we should add the last thing here plus slash n to make it for multiple lines. So to try to run this example, we should go to the manifest, Android manifest. We should change the location of the intent filter, cut, and paste it here. Okay, let's run this one. change it to app and run it. Okay. Yes, as you see here, it print all the names and all the salaries inside this text view. What we have done here, we have changed the startup activity because these 4 lines define the startup activity, which was used for the main activity for the previous activity. Now we have put it inside the JSON ACT to make it the default activity. So in this video, we have talked about how can we retrieve a JSON array, and see you in the next video.